Welcome to our podcast.
Why do I always have crumbs on me?
Welcome to the podcast. I don't know.
What's my deal?
Because you're cute,
You think that's it?
maybe.
You think I always have crumbs on me because I'm cute? And I'm always getting into mischief, like not knowing how to eat a sandwich?
A sandwich? Sandwiches?
Hi everyone, and welcome to the podcast. Let me ask you something, Zoe.
Yes?
Did we talk about Moontower at all?
We kind of.
Okay, good. I just wanted to make sure. I had so much fun, and I wasn't sure if I mentioned anything about it.
Well, we had recorded prior to going.
I mean, afterwards.
No,
Did I give kind of a summation?
this is the first time we're podcasting since we're back.
Okay, Moontower was great. We're using new cameras, so I'm all discombobulated. I'm just making sure everything works.
Did you like my old
Probably.
lady look?
Huh? What?
What?
Dude, I do that face all the time.
I do it all the time.
It's like a face like you're trying to get dust out of your eyes but you don't want to use your hands.
Yes.
What are you?
I'm just turning myself up because I feel like you can't really hear me.
Okay, turn yourself up, girl.
I did it.
Is that better?
I don't know. I don't know if I can hear myself in the...
I can't really hear you either. Keep talking.
Okay. I feel like everything is kind of janky right now. How's that? Is that a little bit better? No? No, it's not?
We might have to start over.
Why, there it is. There it is. Yeah. Yeah, there she is.
Okay.
There she is. Tell Steve to stop touching my shit.
Do we start over or do we just go
No,
from
we
now?
just go from now.
Man,
You know?
I had such a fucking great time at Moontower.
Tell
You
me
asked
more.
me to tell you some of my favorite parts,
Mm-hmm.
and here were the highlights. We did 4 surrounded shows. They, much like last year, they got better and better each night. First one was great, and then by the end of the festival, not only had word gotten out that the show was so fun, just like last year, but all the comics would come and stand in the back of the room, and that was the best. I like having the show that all the comedians want to come to as well.
Yeah.
And great camaraderie
Yeah.
at the festival. A lot of New York people and a lot of Los Angeles people mixed in with the thriving and growing Austin, Texas comedy scene.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And it's great. They got a lot of great places down there. Our show was at the Velveeta Room. I did a bunch of shows at Higbee's. For a while at Higbee's, there was no spotlight on the stage, but there is at least 2 spotlights on every framed picture of Higbee in the bar.
Nice.
So I was like, could we get one?
Yeah.
So that was fun. And also I did a couple shows at the Parker Jazz Club, which I did also last year, and it's a sexy jazz
Very
club.
sexy.
They had just gotten a piano that we were told to stay away from. Hung out with my friend Tom Rhodes, hung out with my sister Amy Miller, hung out with Laura Peak, and so many others.
She's so great.
She's so great. Thank you to Spencer Griffin, who
Yes.
will never listen to this ever.
Never.
Who helped me with the setup of Surrounded. It's always a little wacky at first because they're like, the stage is right there.
Yeah.
Why don't you just go on the stage? And we have to explain that that's not what the show is. And for me, it's like the show's called Surrounded. That's the surrounded thing. But for people who have, not done it in a year or never heard about it before,
Right.
they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? So it was such a great show. The bookers of the show, especially a woman named Colleen, so awesome. It's nice to start going there and seeing familiar faces every year. It's nice to see a lot of people who love you. Everybody loves you, by the way.
That's very nice. I wish I could have gone, but it
I
just
wish you-
didn't work out.
Next year,
Next year.
God willing. There was a great golf tournament that I was in and lost. And I say lost, we were in the top middle, maybe like top 10. But I say lost because we weren't first.
Well,
And if
you
you're
ain't
not first,
you're last. Shake and bake.
And we did watch 10 minutes of that movie last night before falling asleepy time.
Mike watched 10 minutes of the movie before falling asleep.
Did you watch?
I watched the entire thing.
Little Bobble. It's a good movie.
It is
a good movie and it's a lot of fun. Zoe?
Yes?
How's your week? Before we get into questions, because if
Good.
you haven't noticed, there's a podcast where a hairdresser and a comedian answer your questions.
Yes.
And that's what it is.
Yeah. But now
So
talking about my career.
Yeah, please.
And my stuff.
Yeah, go ahead.
I took a class with the very talented Sharon Blaine.
Yeah.
This was her last tour that she was doing. She's 72 years old, and she's like this well-decorated stylist and insane just hairdresser. And I took a long-haired styling class from her with Jamie and a few of our other colleagues, and we had a blast in Vegas, and
That's
it was
great.
just so much fun, and it's like so invigorating and makes you want to like do more, and
Yeah.
and what you learn in these classes you end up always taking back to work, and you work on them, and you take little bits and pieces, and you kind of dissect what you really love out of them and what you didn't. And it was just fun. It was
Did
a fun
you learn
class
any
to
good
do.
life lessons that you could take into all aspects of life? The hair don't fall far from the tree or something like that.
It was very funny because it's like what you set is what you get.
Is
And
that
it's
the
very
phrase?
true.
What does that mean?
It means however you set your hair
Yeah.
is what is going to be the outcome in the end.
Why
So
don't
make
people
sure that
just
you're
set
planning.
it to be good and then they wouldn't need a hairdresser? You know what I mean? I liked when you were talking about that before. You were talking about how you have to do a good job at the thing at the beginning for it to turn out good.
It's true. It's very true. It's hard sometimes because, like as creative people, right? We end up like overcomplicating so many things for no reason.
Yeah.
And it gets frustrating when you're, especially behind the chair, you're trying to like achieve something and you have the vision of it. And then it's like you forget you got to go back to your basics,
Yeah.
And I think for me at least, I know that taking classes is always important for me because it kind of just reiterates all of that. Like bring it back to the fundamentals,
Yeah. Yeah.
Like go back to just the very basic hairdressing and whatever. And that's just like the fundamentals of everything. So
they called me Mr. Fundamentals in NBA 2K16.
I do know that.
So
I do know that.
not a big deal, but I think we share something there. Kindred spirits.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Zoe,
I think you're
I
right.
would like to start this podcast, if I may,
Okay.
with a question of my own to
Okay.
pose to the audience.
Let's hear it.
Zoe,
Mike.
I was walking around the neighborhood, as I do, the other day, and I came to a four-way stop, and there were 4 dogs at the four-way stop.
Yes.
One of which was a tiny greyhound, and the rest were like little Shih Tzus and little tiramisus and doodads, little
Okay.
Weeble Wobbles, and wiener dogs and what have you. And they were all upset with the little greyhound.
Yeah. Is it because it's ugly?
I'm trying to figure out if that's why, and I think that is why.
Maybe they're like, oh, we're so much better looking, like Mean Girls,
They were all so pissed off at this one weird, and I don't want to shame, but alien looking
Yeah.
dog. And I would like to know if there are any, I know we have one bird expert, not really a big help in
No.
this situation.
No,
But if there are any dog experts
because there's not a
or whispers,
whispers.
do any of you people know why all of these dogs would be so upset at the little greyhound who was absolutely just chilling the whole time? There was one dog on a retractable leash who was fighting tooth and nail to get across the street at all costs.
Did that little fucker know that he wasn't getting anywhere on a retractable leash?
I don't think they know that. Or that makes them even more fearless, like when you get held back before a bar fight. You know how people are really, really tough when they're getting held back by
Yeah.
somebody?
Oh, just let me.
If Dan wasn't here,
Dude, you're lucky that Steve is holding me back right now.
And if Dan wasn't here, I think we both need to turn down.
Yeah, a little
God
bit.
forbid
Yeah.
we get a little bit excited
Yeah.
during the show.
Dude.
Anyway,
Fucking Steve, hold me back.
hold me back. Telling people to hold you back, dude. Telling people to hold you back is such a I'm in my very early 20s move.
Go outside and tell Francesca I'm about to handle this shit.
Now, who's
I
Francesca?
don't know, his girlfriend.
Why is she outside? She's smoking, or they're
Maybe.
already in a fight?
And for Francesca, yeah.
Both.
She's smoking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Francesca has long nails and lip liner.
Yes. Dark.
Zoe.
Yes, Mike.
As we mentioned before, this is a show where we answer questions. But before we even get to that,
Okay.
I would like to say there's a couple shows you could buy tickets to right now that would be fucking awesome.
Yes.
Had great shows this weekend. Why wouldn't the next shows be any less? than
Any
that?
better.
So if you're in the Hollywood area, if you're anywhere in Southern California,
California.
go ahead and come to the Hollywood Improv Lab on May 11th, which is a show where I do a little bit of a longer set and try out new stuff with some of my friends. Who are some of my friends, you might ask? Miranda Meadows.
I like her. I'm going to cut her hair soon.
Who doesn't like her? She looks like one of those fry guys from 1980, McDonald's, but you would never know who that is because she's 7 years old.
Yeah.
She's essentially the angriest 7-year-old I've ever met in my life. Who else will be there? Pap Johnson and Willie Simon will be there.
That's fun.
On May 12th,
I
we're
like
in
all
Oregon,
those guys. Yes.
Salem, Oregon, for Dynamic Banter Live.
Yes.
Zoya's, and she's
Coming.
gone on record as saying this, Zoya's favorite podcast, Dynamic Banter.
No. I'm actually not even going to be in the room. I'll be there.
Yeah.
But I'll be outside smoking.
You're not even going to watch the show?
No.
Dude, I want to show you a clip of the show.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Just know that you said no.
No.
And I tried to tell you.
Okay. Well, show me.
You want this?
Show me. I guess so. I guess I don't really have a choice. How loud is it?
They're all the same volume.
Yeah. Okay.
So I want to preface this clip by saying something.
Okay.
I want to say I cleaned it. And I cleaned it like you would clean it.
Oh my God.
Does that make you feel any better or worse?
What? Okay. There's something I have on or I'm touching.
No. I wouldn't do that to you.
Okay.
I wouldn't do that to you.
Okay. I don't know that I believe you right now.
Why? What makes you not believe me?
Because the way you said, I wouldn't do that to you. I wouldn't.
I'm in a very relaxed mood right
I
now.
wouldn't- I
I've been
wouldn't
burning a
do
lot of
that to
incense
you.
at the house, and I feel deep. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I know that that's not like a psychological.
It's Mike Sage.
You wouldn't go to the doctor and
Mm-hmm.
the doctor says, "How do you feel?" You wouldn't say, "I feel deep," but I do.
I feel cleansed.
I feel like a limerick on the inside, but person on the outside.
Okay.
So Zoe, go ahead and watch this clip.
Great. You look so handsome.
Thank you.
Very good. Should we keep the synthwave stuff going? I'm a big fan.
I feel like I'm on a jet ski.
So we have a friend going through a digital forest. Steve, no.
What just happened?
So
What just happened?
Did he
Tell
just
me
pee?
about it.
For real?
He didn't
Tell me
pee.
about it. What just happened? No, you tell me what just happened.
What do you think, man?
Explain it like it was a crime, because I'm pretty sure.
Well, Your Honor, I was doing my podcast, Dynamic Banter.
Right? Who was there? Because it seemed like an alone thing. And your reaction was very like, oh, this is that part of the show.
Yeah.
And I, as an outside observer, I demand an explanation.
I actually don't know what happened.
Do some riffing, we'll talk about whatever's going on in our lives.
Yeah.
Then
Some
when
plugs
we do
if we
the
have
ads, we gotta pay the bills.
Yeah.
We'll set up the It's History Road.
Yeah.
Sounded like a pretty over the plate segment, and then you spit on the table.
Oh. Did he really spit?
Yeah.
What's wrong with him?
Isn't that a bummer?
Why?
Isn't
Why?
that
Dude,
a bummer?
Steve, spit on your own fucking goddamn table, okay? I fucking blood, sweat, and tears went into this bitch.
Dude, and you know I
Okay?
said it. You know, I
Jesus
said that.
Christ,
It would be
Steve.
different if this was maybe an IKEA table. Let me tell you something else. And this is the God's honest truth, because this is the most that definitely happened thing to have happen. After the show, he went to the bathroom and he got a wad of tissues this big, and he started wiping down maybe a 4 square inch area of the table. And I said, what is that doing? And he goes, there's soap on it. He said it like that. And I said, just leave it. I'm going to have to bleach the table. And I did. I went and I got bleach wipes and I bleached the table before I would ever show you that. I also said that if I showed you that and you saw that, first reaction was you can never see that.
Yeah.
And I would have kept that away from you at all costs because I know how disgusted you are on the inside. And I'll also say, let's be fair. You weren't even there.
Yeah.
I had to be here.
I know.
With a friend.
Yeah.
And watch that.
Yeah.
On your and your blood, sweat, and tears table.
Yeah. I handcrafted this bitch.
Handcrafted, hand stained,
hand stained, sanded,
sand stained,
sanded by hand.
sandstormed.
Da-da-da-da.
Twice in 2 podcasts that reference has been made.
Really?
Yeah. And I said that if you saw that, he would probably not be let into this house again.
No,
But I did want to show you.
just because you guys are business partners, right? And like, and he has to be let into this house. Not thrilled about it, though. I'm not gonna lie.
Zoe, this is a podcast
Yeah.
where the hair carpenter
Yes.
and a comic joke guy say answers.
Yes.
Do you have questions for
I
us
do.
this podcast? Lay 'em on me.
All right. Are you ready? So, I have not had to work for the past 7 years due to savings keeping me afloat. 7 years, man.
You had enough savings for 7 years of life?
I find that not having a job means work efficiency mindset starts bleeding into my hobbies. And I never feel like I've done enough in my day. Any advice about making sure you don't let your dumb brain transform your hobbies into chores?
I am not powerful enough to control the way my brain is. So my brain thinks about my hobbies in the same way it thinks about my work. But I love my work. I was talking to my dad about all the undiagnosed stuff my family has.
Okay.
And I said, do you think you have anything? And he goes, yeah, I got a bunch of stuff. One of which is ADHD. I think I got a touch of that.
Yeah.
And then I was saying, I absolutely have ADHD.
Same.
But because of the nature of my job and the way I choose to do my job, I use it to work in my benefit. And if there ever came a day where I felt like I couldn't concentrate on anything, because I live my life in a very ADHD way. I get up and I have a cup of coffee. I do whatever to relax for an hour. And then I start something. Maybe I'll finish it. Start something else or work on something else. Make myself a list so I don't get too... If I didn't have that list, gone. Lunch, do that again until I'm dead tired. Take a break, go out to shows.
Yeah.
So the way I work here in my private life and my hobbies and everything and the way my brain works is all incorporated.
Right.
Back in the day when I just had to go to a place for 8 hours and do something, it was not good.
Yeah.
And my hobbies were like escape from everything. But I can't my mind doesn't differentiate between work and my hobbies.
Right.
I try to get pleasure out of both of those things by just kind of trying to satisfy whatever my brain needs at that moment.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, first of all, awesome that you haven't had to work in 7 years.
I want to know more. I have so many more
I know,
questions.
right? Same. Because I've been trying to get Mike to let me not work for 7 years, and
I think this might be I chopped my foot off in a factory type scenario.
I don't think so.
Maybe.
Who knows? Maybe. But I think what it is making a schedule for yourself, right? And like making sure that you know what your chores are your chores. Like, you know, today you're getting up and you're going to clean your fucking bathroom. That's a chore, right? You got to do laundry. That's a chore, you know, and having a schedule, even though you don't have to work, is important. Because I know for me, very much so, like you were saying, I 100% have ADHD. I've got 1,000 things that I'm thinking about at all times. And we've talked about this before, that you can see it on my face. I will literally be mid-sentence and just stop talking because something else has popped in and has taken over.
How many of those things are how cute I am?
And then it happens to me at work actually a lot. And it's very frustrating when it does happen to me at work. Our good friend was here a couple weeks ago or a couple months ago, and I was cleaning up and doing stuff in the house, and I had the vacuum cleaner in the middle of the living room, and I was like, oh, please don't mind my ADHD, because I was vacuuming when he came in.
Like this did happen a little bit recently.
Yeah, no, it happened a lot of it, but in spurts, right? So
Right.
like what I like to do is I like to start I normally start in our bedroom,
Right.
and then I work my way out.
But this question is,
Right. I'm getting there.
sure.
So the ADHD part of me was would get sidetracked and do 1,000 different things. So I think what it is having a schedule and making sure that you
Carpool.
yes, you carpool whatever it is that you need. You know, carpooling. It's important.
Compartmentalize.
Thank you.
Compartmentalize.
Compartmentalize.
But you know what I was thinking about you specifically while we were answering these questions? Is you don't have any hobbies. So your work brain can't ruin your... What's it going to ruin?
Yeah, you know, yeah, you're right.
What's it going to ruin?
Yeah.
Sitting by pool?
Work is my hobby.
Yeah.
But also you can maybe to do something different, right, in your day to break it up is so that you don't transform your hobbies into chores, is go volunteer somewhere. You know, like find something else to do outside of your hobbies and give back a little bit.
Yeah, but then that's just a different thing to do.
Right. But it also forces you into a schedule, right? It's like I know that on Wednesdays and Fridays from 10 to 2, I have to go here and I have to go to the library and do the Dewey Decimal System.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just the first thing that came to mind.
This question, I think, is how do I not ruin my hobbies with my work brain?
Right.
So how is
he doesn't want to make his hobbies into work.
Right.
And that's what he's having a problem with.
Because you were off work for so long.
Because he's off. He hasn't worked. They have not worked for 7 years. And I find that not having a job means work efficiency mindset is bleeding into my hobbies.
Right. So you need a more structured thing. Right.
Right?
Yeah. Good. Case closed. And then play like courtroom music.
Right. But I struggle with like 1,000 things. It sucks when I'm mid conversation with a client and totally lose train of thought.
Yeah.
And there's so many times in a day that I have to apologize. And then Jamie from beside me is always like, words. And I'm like, that's not helping.
Dude,
you know?
I struggle to not say, I did it this morning, to not say rude things to you when you do that. Because I know that I do that. Even worse is that I'm very perceptive, and I know when I'm pausing, and I know when somebody else loses interest in what I'm saying, and I know I still have to finish what I'm saying.
Right.
And that is the worst. I don't know how to get them back. And then when you do it, when you're like asking me for something, or if I'm waiting for an answer for you and you're across the house, it's like, you do that thing where you're listening and you forget to breathe. So you make this noise. The throat listening noises. I listen to you with my throat, and then you don't say anything, and I'm like, finish before you think of any other things. Finish what you're trying to think right now.
I didn't marry me.
Would you?
Probably. I'm awesome.
You're so gay, dude. It's so gay to marry someone.
I'm into it. I'm into it.
Hell yeah, dude. I'd marry you again if I were you. I'd marry you.
Yeah, for sure.
If I were you, I would not marry me.
You guys, our next question.
But that isn't the question, is it?
I would marry you again, for sure.
That's you.
Yeah.
That's such a you thing to say. And that's why I'd marry you.
Yeah. Marry.
Okay, man. Let me live. Let me live.
Our next question is, I want to see my friend in a romantic way, but I'm afraid. What do?
Well, is fear gonna... What's worse? Thank you. That's like a Joe Biden sentence. Dude, what would you... I've said this
What?
a million times before.
Yes. What would you? What would you?
And that reminds me of a story.
And what would you?
Would you rather be a little bit uncomfortable for a minute or have a woulda, coulda, shoulda moment for the rest of your life?
Right. Are you ready to also, like, what happens if it's a no, right?
Yeah.
So are you ready to potentially walk away from even the friendship?
Because you're putting that on the table.
Right.
You're saying,
Hey,
in my body, I want to
me,
change the friendship.
I want more than a friendship.
Do you
I want a
do you
relation
happen to be
friendship.
thinking the same thing at the same time as me?
Right. Are you picking up what I'm putting down?
Are you horny for me?
Because I'm trying to lay it down. You know what I'm saying?
I'm actually trying to lay
Okay.
down. Are you receptive to that at all?
Do you want to lay down in bed with me?
Do you want to lay it down in bed next to each other and kind of see what happens?
Nobody.
And then you start singing?
Yes. Baby.
Nobody,
No one's gonna get that.
There are people who are,
Probably Jesse.
yes, 2 or 3
Yeah,
people.
yeah. Probably Jesse.
So yeah.
Yeah. That's just kind of
There's a
where it
reason
is.
why they call it risking it for the biscuit. Because you are risking it. Are you willing to risk it for the biscuit? And you got to be like, I feel like in so many of these situations, the most mature thing is you got to get ready and be prepared for everything that comes along with a no.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And also, I think it's a situation where you got to say it regardless. Because what are
Yeah.
you going to do? Just hide it for the rest of your life?
Right.
So...
Especially if you start dating somebody else, right? And you never said anything. And you start dating someone else. And this someone else starts to notice. They see it. You
Why
know?
do you look that way whenever we hang around with Jess Standish?
Why is it every time that
Santish
Santish comes around,
Yeah. You have piss in your pants.
you get like this weird giddy.
Hot banya?
Yeah. Like,
Why?
well, what's happening?
What's the deal?
Yeah. Did
Do
you guys
have
have
a pass?
something?
Do you have a pass? Why do your pants get different every time Smantish comes around?
Why are your pants always so tight?
In general? Why are you always wearing tight pants? Here's a
Around
couple things I think are weird
Samantish.
about you. You're weird around Smantish.
Yeah.
You're always wearing tight pants.
I'm sick of this.
And I used to be like either say it or don't, you know? But now it's like say it and risk ruining your friendship. And then if you ruin it, take a break from your friendship for a little while.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have to, if one of you wants it and the other one doesn't, you're going to have to get over your feelings anyway if you want to have any kind of like real friendship with them. So you're going to have to take a break regardless.
But also think about it before you do anything, right? Think about what it is. Like, do you really have romantic feelings for this person?
Or you just horn balloons.
Or are you just, or is it just somebody that is super easy to talk to, super easy to get along with? And because sometimes your friends don't become good romantic partners.
No.
And that if you're willing to lose the entire relationship altogether, let's say this person says, yes, let's do it, and you guys are not romantically compatible,
Yeah.
be ready to say goodbye to that relationship forever.
For at least a long time.
Yeah.
But
So-
like a real break from it too. Because now you're going to have to be like, things are different. Do I want how different things are?
Right.
And it's never going to be the same.
No, it's never going to be the same.
But let's say you share feelings. And the first step to something really good is a risk.
Tell me something good.
Okay.
Pew, pew.
There's free waffles in the lobby.
Free waffles, huh?
You said tell me something good.
I don't think there are any waffles in this lobby.
If we went into our apartment complex and there were just free a bucket of waffles in the lobby, in the center of the lobby, so take one, would you do it?
No.
Waffle fountain.
Nope. No, I would not. Also, you have other shows coming up. Are you allowed to talk about that?
Yes, I'm going to be in Boston with
Yes.
Olin Rogers.
What?
On the 16th at Laugh Boston.
May 16th, y'all.
Go to Olin Rogers' website if
Olin
you're trying to get
Rogers
tickets.
and-
I found a StubHub website that was selling tickets for astronomical prices. But if you wanted regular boy tickets at regular boy and girl prices and regular non-binary prices, go to Olin Rogers' website.
Yes. And then you're going to be in Toronto.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yes.
I may have just lied to you. Sorry.
That's okay.
Your dad, I talked to your dad today.
I would
and he
like
said-
to be. I would like to be in Toronto on the 18th. We'll just say that.
Yes.
So that by the time this comes out, which is a matter of minutes from now, a decision will have been made.
I think you should.
I would love to. Which means I have to get a plane ticket.
Yeah.
So many things to think about right now. Dude, also, and I can't believe it took this long to talk about it. Did I not already say this? That the next Surrounded show is in the main room of the Hollywood Improv on the 2nd of June. And that's going to be huge.
June
we have
2nd,
so many
y'all.
great comics on that. I don't want to say their names just yet because I'm waiting on one or two more people, but it's going to be a fucking awesome show.
I think it's going to be an awesome show also.
So right before you go away, that'll be one of our last memories together.
Forever.
Forever? Are you going to find someone new across the...
When I'm
Anyway.
in Portugal for 10 days.
Yeah, I'll be fine also because of how strong I am.
You guys, have you guys heard of I'm really happy for you. I'm excited that you got all this stuff going on.
I'm excited for you too.
Thank you. Also, you guys, our Patreon sponsor for this month and the last few months is podcast, guys. Each week, podcast. Wow.
It's it's a lot. I feel like this isn't a real thing that exists, and I feel like it only exists to trip you up. What do you think about that?
I think maybe it exists. Each week, podcasters Olivia O'Neill and Tyler pitch and create new, innovative, and sometimes copyright infringing podcasts. They're the masterminds behind such podcasts as...
Dude, I love how you made fun of me for my voice cracking.
Quiz Inc. Sorry, a quiz show helped to decide what tattoo you should get. Wonder Bread, a podcast explaining white culture to a minority. Encyclopedia Podcastia, a podcast chapterizing everything from historical events to household items. You can find links to our show on our website.biz. That's website x3.biz, where we're on all of the social medias at Triple PCast and now at Real Podcast God for some reason. And as you know, patreon.com is a virtual tipping and rewards website where you give us a little bit of your hard-earned cash, and our $10 group gets a shout out. And that goes a little something like this. Catherine Connor. Alex Berringer.
Did you get all up a little bit?
Yeah. Sorry. Ryan Cruteau, Cole Rusty, Joseph Capricusio, Shannon Haynes, DLD, Ernesto, Raja Knows, Luis, and Odette. Luis, thank you. Shout out one time to Luis for helping me with stuff for Portugal. Lauren Chauncey, Paul Gilliam, Derek Helling, Steve Diergo, Chris McCarthy, Joe Penn, Happy Birthday Starlight, JJ McToots, Rachel Last Name, Mike Genie, Alan Garcia, Connie Tryon, Isabella Sparkles, and Tara Baez. Frankie Matos Music, Johnny Rosito Handcrafted Neckwear, CCPB&J, Ad Mam, Emily Paget, Caleb Perkins, Giant Tom Hanks, Lizzie Love, Gavin Welsh, Someone Tell Aaron, Jackie Hammond. Paige lives in a land above ya. Okay.
Huh?
Sure. A guy with long hair who I think is coming in September and might be getting a haircut.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
So
Chris
he might be
Johnson.
just the guy with a medium.
I don't know. Are we going to cut it off? I don't know. We'll see.
Change your name. If you
Anita
do.
Rosita Valles, Benjamin Putz, Beth Bush, Christina Camille, Marijuana.
Marijuana?
Yeah. Michael Johnson, Kayla Johnson, Jules Run, Grant Levasseur, Chad Clark, Heather Ashley, What is Cat, Katie Taylor, Shane Welsh, Milky Beans, Jess Enright, Lillian Carrillo, Magnus Silva, Barrington Lloyd Lovett, Ben Fuchs, Theodorus Karen Bellis, Janisha Tutton, Danny Sinclair, Jacob D. Bradford, Justine Beebestein, Just Josh, Sergeant Sparty, Ed Birch, Helen Ford, Illumino, Superfloss, It's Tatiana Day, Danielle Di Verona, Dev Rabavro, Jesse Stillwell, Katie Lee G, Rob Devereaux, Don Bure, Luis Hernandez. Did I say Nestor De Leon?
You just did now.
Alexander Legowski, Monique Quistor, Felicia Shimberry, and Matthew J. Palka. You guys, thank you so much for listening. I hope that you guys have a great week. Also, if in the next couple of weeks we get a little bit funky with podcasts, please bear with us. There's a lot going on.
Yeah. Kind of an insane amount. But we're going to listen, Zoya's going away for like a month in June. I'm going away for a bunch of different sporadic, unexpected weeks. So we might change it up a little bit. We're going to try to record as many podcasts as we can together. Maybe we do a couple with guests. Maybe we do a couple by ourselves. But we will do our very best to not skip any weeks for you guys, because you guys are great, and even though you're very forgiving and very nice and very understanding, we don't love skipping weeks for you guys. So thank you for all your support on Patreon. That helps so much, especially get clips done. And Lee and Josh, we appreciate you guys very much. Zoya,
Michael,
I appreciate you very much.
I appreciate you.
A little something about me, and horny for it.
Great. You guys, thanks so much for listening. We'll talk to you soon.